I have an audacious plan to take at least one of my traders inside of the Money Tribe community to $1 million in trading profits. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why I've decided to do this and more specifically share some of the deeper insights behind what motivates me to help other people. As many of you know, I started trading in the markets in 2024 with a deposit of $5,000 and traded that all the way up to $6 million in trading equity. And I want to prove that the system is able to be replicated. I want to prove that somebody beyond me can do it. And this is an audacious project that I've started inside of the Money Tribe. We've already selected a group of traders that are currently in the evaluation stage, getting ready to actually trade on the road to 1 million with me. This is the story about why I decided to do this. This is a story about the plan behind it. And I'm also going to be sharing some insights into the evaluation process and exactly what I was looking for in the traders that I shortlisted for the road to 1 million. This is an exciting project. You want to make sure that you subscribe to the channel because we're going to be sharing the highs, the lows, and everything that goes into trading from a small amount of capital. These guys will be starting with $5,000 just like I did back in 2024 and trading them up all the way to $1 million. It's going to be heartbreak, it's going to be pain, and it's going to be glory. We're going to share everything here on the channel, so make sure you are subscribed. In 2024, my life changed completely. In the beginning of 2024, I was looking to do a story on social media about how Forex bots were a scam. One of the Forex bots was trading gold. And as a traditional gold investor, certain things caught my eye. And this lured me into the idea of trading Forex. Now, full disclosure, I had tried trading Forex about 20 years before this and had lost an extreme amount of money. Consequently, I never looked at Forex trading again and I considered it to be a scam. Long rolls 2024, I'm looking to do the story. I see the Forex bots trading, they're losing me money, but I'm starting to recognize patterns. And so I jump into Forex trading. I open up a demo account, I start trading, and pretty much the rest is history. After doubling demo account after demo account, I decided to take the leap of faith and to climb into the market with a $5,000 deposit. The very first time in over 25 years that I would be trading real funds in the market. And the start was painful. It was slow. It was exactly like you would expect the moment you go from trading demo to trading real money. The anxiety kicked in. And I started to realize that trading was more about overcoming my individual emotions rather than focusing just on trading alone. And so I buttoned down, I started journaling, I started focusing, and little by little, I started to make money. The profits started to roll in bit by bit. In fact, all of this is documented on my social media pages. In fact, if you go back and you look, the very first trades I took, making $20 a day, $50 a day, I documented every single trade on social media. And like I said, the start was pretty painful. I mean, if you go back and have a look here, there were days where I was really quite ecstatic to make $50 to $100. The part where I really started to get excited was where I started to see this being repeatable, and I could see that I was winning more than I was losing. I started to really pay attention to the markets. I started to really focus on everything related to gold and gold trading, and I started to go deep. And this leads me to the trade that completely changed my life forever. This one single trade, I had such a high degree of certainty going into this trade that I upped my lot sizes on the trade. I knew full well going in the kind of risk that I was exposing myself to. And what I decided to do, I decided to take my entire week's trading profits and put it all on one massive NFP event. Now, full disclosure, once again, I'm not a news trader. I don't trade the news and I advocate for trading after the news. But this specific event in November 2024, I was absolutely aligned with what was going to happen macroeconomically, and I was absolutely aligned with what the expectancy was of NFP. And I decided I was going to go in, and I was going to go in big, and I was going to make my mark. And I want to share with you that specific moment. I want to share with you that specific day, because that day was the day that changed my life forever when it comes to trading. And I want to quickly share the video with you. If you'll just bear with me for a second, I want to actually walk you through the video and show you this trade that completely changed my life. And this is part of the reason why I'm doing the road to 1 million, because I have seen what Forex trading has done for me. I've seen what it can do for my family. And once again, I want to show people exactly how I did it, why I did it, and of course, show people that if I can do it, other people can do it as well. But we'll get into that. Let's quickly go ahead and have a look at the video. This was perhaps one of my most emotional days trading ever. In fact, my wife had such a huge response. I'm going to play the video for you guys quickly. Let's go. Let me just drag this across so you guys can see it.
This bug.
The end of the trading day. Let's see how we did, but first, let's get my wife's reaction. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to slide this phone this way down, turn it over.
Again? Yeah, I was waiting for this because I already have my calculator ready. Are you joking?
Okay, show me your face.
No, I don't want to.
Are you crying?
No.
So while my wife is busy crying behind the camera, which is just beautiful, I want to share it with you guys here on social media as motivation for what is possible when you follow your dreams. So cheers to you guys. Thanks for following me on social media. Thanks for supporting me. And to my money tribe, I got you guys. Cheers. Get it, boy. Get it. Boom, 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 boom. Get it, boy. And we're out. $57,427 net. These are the two big trades, big lot sizes on NFP. Total banked. Ba-boom.
I'm going to open my special calendar and just write down all the notes. Wasn't it like 3 weeks ago?
4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago you did the same thing.
I did the same thing.
You think I'm getting used to it clearly because I'm not. I'm just going to have a calculator on me. I'm going to buy a scientific calculator. That's what I'm going to do.
The end of the trading day. Man, I get so teary and choked up just watching that video, because that video, that moment was the moment we knew our lives would never be the same again. In fact, as I'm sitting here recording this video for you guys, I'm literally holding back the tears. I've watched that video probably 1,000 times, and it still has the same impact today. Man, I felt like for the first time in my life, I could breathe. As an entrepreneur, I've spent my entire life building businesses, building income, but that was the moment. That was the moment I knew what was possible. That was the moment my life changed. And I literally took a $5,000 deposit and I traded that up all the way over $1 million as a result of that trade. Obviously, lots of little wins in the beginning, lots of little $50, $100 days, stacking up those wins over time. And then going into that NFP event, I studied my arse off. I focused on every macroeconomic indicator, every macroeconomic data point I could get my hands on. And I went into that trade with so much confidence. I just knew. I knew that was going to be the trade that made me. And that trade, as you can see from the equity on the account that I showed you guys, took me well over $100,000 in equity. And that is what gave me the foothold. That's what gave me the moment where I knew this is something. This can be something. This is not just something small, making extra $100, $150 a day. This was the moment I knew who I was going to become. So one of the things that I think I did very differently from the outset is from the moment I started making $50 a day, I started to realize that one of the shortfalls, I think, for a lot of Forex traders, they try to treat Forex trading like an income. And I understood almost instantaneously, because I am a long-term investor, that this was a very quick way to compound money. If you think about the 8% rule on money or the 10% rule on money, it's going to take you on average between 8 and 10 years to double your money, right? If you're compounding. The moment I saw I could make these kind of returns in the Forex market, I understood that if I just made 10 or 20% per month, that I could grow my money ridiculously fast. In fact, 8, 9, 10 times faster than I could through traditional investing. And so I made a very active decision. I decided that I was not going to withdraw Forex profits. I decided I was going to compound the living shit out of my trading account, and I was going to go for the $1 million, and I was going to secure the bag. I was going to get the $1 million and then figure out what to do from there. Now, of course, the year that followed was, the only way I can describe it, guys, is heartache, pain, suffering, and massive breakthroughs. And I think this has been the story of my entire trading career so far, and it has been pretty much the story of my life. I learned some of my best lessons through the biggest mistakes. There are days when I suffered massive losses and massive setbacks, but incrementally over the year, leading into 2025, I kept climbing, and I kept climbing. And by the end of 2025, I'd secured more than $6 million in trading profits. And I then actively made a decision at the end of 2025 to de-risk from the market, withdraw some money out, to start 2026 on a new foothold with $1 million in trading equity, having pulled 5 million plus out of the market, taken that and put it safely into other investments, and once again starting from a smaller balance. This time, though, a lot better than what I started out in 2024. And this got me thinking. It got me really pondering about how much I can impact and change people's lives if I teach them how to do what I've done, if I can truly show people how to fish rather than just simply give them the means to make money. And here is where the idea for the Road to 1 Million was born. I decided I wanted to challenge myself to take what I would classify as relatively new or novice traders, implement my system, show them my process, and then actually coach them through all the way from $5,000 of trading equity all the way up to $1 million. And that's how the idea for the Road to 1 Million was born. In addition to which, I know how many people are truly skeptical about the Forex industry. I'm one of those people. I still find it unbelievable that I was able to take $5,000 in trading equity and scale it up to over $6 million. I am not unique in this situation. There are many other traders who've done the same. And in fact, there are some great stories of Japanese traders, German traders who've gone from, $6,000, $7,000 in trading equity all the way up to over 100 million. And I'm inspired by those stories. In fact, one of those stories is pinned on my Instagram profile. It's one of my sources of inspiration. I want to show you quickly. So this here is a video that I tend to watch over and over and over. Going to turn the sound off for a second. I watch this over and over and over because these are the greats of our industry. These are the guys who've taken small amounts of money and just grown it into extreme amounts of wealth. And these are the people who I look up to. These are the people who I aspire to be like. These are the people who I want to stand shoulder to shoulder with them in history in terms of taking a small amount of capital and really growing it in the industry. So, whilst my idea might seem unique, there are many others who've gone before me, and I want to follow in their footsteps, and I want to be one of the greats. But being great on my own is not enough. I want to take people with me. I want to take a couple of really inspired people and turn them into dollar millionaires. And this is where I started to hone in the idea for the Road to 1 Million. And it was quite a lengthy process to undergo the interview process. We obviously decided to take a core group of Money Tribe traders who had some trading stats, and then shortlist people and then start the interview process. Now, before I get into that whole process, I really want to talk about my trading year in 2025, because even though it was a massive year and we banked millions of dollars in trading profits, it took a toll on me personally. I had to put in 18, 19 hours a day. I learned a lot of valuable lessons along the way, and I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of those mistakes I want to obviously coach into whoever I take on the Road to 1 Million, because I want them to avoid the pitfalls and the mistakes that I made. And obviously, I want to get them a lot quicker and a lot more sustainably, with a lot less emotional baggage and emotional drama in the way that I did it. Because if I'm perfectly honest, in 2025, I finished that year, although hugely profitable, I was finished. I was completely broken. And I think it does take a monumental effort to really trade at this level. But at the same time, I think with a little bit of coaching and a little bit of direction from somebody who's already been there and done that, I think it just makes the path a little bit easier. And so, you know, if I go back to early part of 2024, if I go to early part of 2025, I was scalping the market 65, 80 trades a day. That's an extreme amount of activity in the market. Obviously, I've learned to scale down the number of trades I take, scalp a little bit less, target slightly longer positions, understand the importance of patience and market structure a lot more. And I want to give that to the guys who are going with me on the road to 1 million. So let's talk about the evaluation process, because that evaluation process, I think, has been one of the biggest aha moments for me in terms of why traders aren't succeeding. We built an incredible infrastructure inside of the Money Tribe, from education to simulated trading to our boiler room trading competitions, and eventually hand-holding people all the way through to trading live funds. We've built an incredible system, but you can't take away the human error. And in the interview process, I discovered so much about myself with these potential traders that I was looking to bring on this journey with me. And I learned so much about the individual traders as a group, the similar things that they have problems with, the personality traits which make some people better traders than others. So what I want to do quickly is I want to quickly break away from the office, because I've been in this office the entire day. We're going to shoot the breeze a bit, and then we're going to hop back into the office for part 2, and I'm going to talk about the evaluation process and what I was looking for these specific traders to take with me on the road to 1 million. So as always, we try and get a little bit of time out of the office. I've been talking about this quite a lot recently, about how so much of our work is based at a desk. And you know, they say sitting is a new form of smoking, and I have to totally agree with that. So I try and get out of the office, I try and get moving, I try and get active, I try and get out as much as possible, because a lot of my day is spent sitting at the computer, taking meetings, trading, working on stuff. And when you've got a beautiful environment like this, it's almost a sin not to come out and enjoy it. So if we're not doing sport with the kids, if Andrea and I are not going out and grabbing an ice cream or a cup of coffee or something, then I'll usually take Roxy for a little bit of a walk. And Roxy absolutely loves the beach. In fact, if I mention the word swim or beach, there's chaos in the house. Roxy knows it's her time. What you doing, Bubs? So right now we're out here on a beach called Surin, and it's fairly close to where we stay. It's a beautiful, beautiful little beach. Probably see a lot of tourists around, despite all the war in the Middle East and the stuff that's been going on. Thailand's still getting a decent amount of tourists through, and the vibe down here is always like, you can't help but feel healthy, put it to you that way. You know, people are in shape, people are being active, people are being busy, and I think that's probably one of my greatest reasons for continuing to stay in Phuket. The lifestyle for me is completely unmatched. Okay, Roxy, sit. Hey, come. Roll over. Up. Sit. Give me a paw. Sit. Paw. High five. Okay, lie down. Hey. You just want to go and swim, I can see. Come, roll over. Not even like strapped in, he's just holding the cords. That's obviously one of the local guys, and then the other guy's actually strapped in. Only in Thailand. If that guy falls, he's dead. That dude doesn't have a harness on. He's literally just balancing on top of the other guy. Oh my God, check it this out. I don't know how anyone can live and work in a place like this and not be happy. Literally, no matter how crap my day is, and I do have crap days, if I come down here and I get a little bit of this smell of the ocean, a little bit of the beach under my toes, everything is better. So now I'm feeling better, let's get back into the office. Let's jump in and talk about my valuation process. So the first thing is, obviously, I've been looking at how the traders inside of the Money Tribe have been trading. So I'm going to quickly take you onto my computer. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that we are doing behind the scenes. Money Tribe is an incredible resource. In addition to obviously all the courses and teaching all of the stuff the way I trade, and of course also a lot of lifestyle stuff that I teach inside of the 8 pillars. The Money Tribe community not only gives traders access to, daily market analysis, gives them access to my charts on TradingView and my indicators that I use, indicators that I've actually written, and obviously gives them my detailed trade logs of every single trade that I take, as well as, of course, the support and Forex chat groups where guys are able to interact with each other. But there is one big part of the Money Tribe that really, I think, is a standout element of why so many of our traders are having these breakthroughs, and that is our boiler room trading competition. So the boiler room trading competition, we currently just finished one. You can see that finished now in April, and we obviously have a new one coming out relatively soon. We have, at any given time, we have about 150 to 180 new traders trading in the boiler room trading comp. It's a demo trading environment where they can trade for a couple of months, just learn the mechanics of the market, and I get to see exactly how they perform in those trades. And obviously, this was one of the basic things that I was looking at. I was looking for traders who could manage risk, who could manage drawdown, who seemed to be putting things together in terms of the trade. So that was my first set of criteria. Then, secondly, of course, I was looking for specific personality traits. I was paying very close attention to the conversations that people were having in the Forex chat groups, the interactions with my team members and my staff and my business partners, and just kind of gauging who had the right sort of personality setup to potentially trade on the road to 1 million with me. And after we selected our shortlist, we then went through an interview process. And I have to be completely honest, the couple of weeks, I think it was about 8 or 9 weeks where we were interviewing people on that list. We had a short list of 60 traders. It absolutely took it out of me because I was so frustrated doing the interviews with people because I could see every single group of traders were having the same problems. They weren't trading with stop losses, they were breaking their own rules, and a lot of it came down to a lack of emotional control. Anyway, we eventually found a group of 18 or so traders that we decided were potentials for the road to 1 million, and they are currently trading in what we are calling our trader evaluation. It's a blind trading competition. We're not actually looking for people necessarily to make profits. Whether they make profits or not is immaterial. They're trading with a $100 live account. They're not able to see anybody else. There's no leaderboards. But what I'm using this for is I'm looking at how they transition from demo trading to trading live money, because it has a huge psychological effect. And then secondly, and very importantly, I'm obviously seeing how they manage the rule sets. I've given them very strict rule sets in the trading. For example, they cannot go into more than 3% drawdown on any given trade. Even if that trade turns back in profit, 3% drawdown is the absolute limit of available equity. And then secondly, obviously every trade needs to be entered with a stop loss. If they do not enter with a stop loss on a trade, it's immediate removal from the evaluation. And the heartbreaking part for me is in the first 2-3 days of trading the trader eval, the guys who had submitted applications, gone through the interview processes, ticked all the boxes, guys who I really thought would make it all the way into the road to 1 million, they completely fucked out on literally day 1, 2, and 3, simply because they didn't follow the rule sets. And I think this is why it's important for me to explain why I'm doing such an extensive trader evaluation. So I've psychologically analyzed them, I've analyzed their personalities, I've analyzed their trading history, and now we transitioned them into this $100 live account where they're blind trading on their own. That's going to progress for 90 days. Those who make it through are going to go into a second 90 day of trader evaluation. We're going to up the ante. They're going to have to trade considerably more funds for another 90 days. And at the end, I'm hoping to be left with at least a couple of people who I can then take on the road to 1 million. The road to 1 million from my side is going to involve direct one-on-one coaching with these people. I'm going to take them with $5,000 of starting equity, and whilst I'm not going to talk to them about talk to them about the individual trades that they take, I'm not going to be coaching them into trades or coaching them out of trades. I will be reviewing their trades. I will be reviewing how they manage their equity and their money, and I'll be coaching them in terms of mindset. I'll be coaching them in terms of equity and money management. I'll be coaching them in terms of reviewing their trades and helping them do better in terms of the trades that they have taken, win or lose. And this process is probably going to take anywhere from between a year to 3 years for some of those traders to go from $5,000 to over $1 million. It's an audacious idea. It's an audacious project. It is something which I believe will not only put Money Tribe on the map if I'm able to replicate my success as a dollar millionaire in trading, but show people that ordinary folks who have no prior history with trading can do this if they learn the rules, follow the rules, and of course, focus on the emotional disciplines of trading. Of course, I have to be very open and very transparent about what I'm looking for during these trade evaluations. Profit is not the most important thing. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for the average loss dollar amount versus average win. I'm looking to see if traders are focusing on those stats. I'm looking to see if winning trades are held longer than losing trades. I'm looking to see how the trader trades, if they revenge trade, if they, focusing on rule sets, if they focusing on trading with their trade logs and logging every single trade. If I go to a trade and I ask what happened in that trade, I want to see their trade logs. If I don't see that, then obviously that is going to be a problem for me. So I'm really just evaluating them a little bit deeper than the initial personality and psychological evaluations under a little bit more pressure. And so I think the last thing I want to end off in this road to 1 million conversation is talk about my really deep desire to help people and why I decided to come on social media in the first place, why I decided to share my trading journey and all of my other financial journeys, which I share inside of the Money Tribe, everything from entrepreneurship to becoming a global citizen. I share all of that inside of the Money Tribe. I came from a place of poverty. I came from a place of suffering. And every win means so much to me. Every win means so much to my family. And so I believe that given the correct leadership, the correct mentorship, and the correct direction, most people who genuinely desire to be free, I think that trading is one of the greatest tools to give them that freedom. Because trading is a lot more about the individual than the actual trading itself. And what trading does is it shines a spotlight on every aspect of your personality, good and bad, and allows you to improve, to level up, to grow, and eventually become sovereign. And let's not forget the financial benefits. If you get this shit right, it is the most life-changing money you will ever make. And it is a skill set that you can take to the grave, you can take to the bank, and it will feed you and your family for the next couple of generations if you do it right. My desire to help people is a burning desire from within. It's a calling. And I understand the skepticism of people when it comes to Forex trading and money. And so I believe in that if I can take just one person from our Money Tribe community and turn them into a dollar millionaire over the next 1 to 2 to 3 years, and I can show people beyond myself what is possible, I can change someone's life in front of everybody's eyes, I believe that will be the single greatest advertisement for the Money Tribe. That is my number one reason. Number two, like I said, I really don't love doing social media. I've mentioned this many times before, but it is a necessary part of growing this community. It is my service to the community, is my service to people in the general public to try and bring people into this Money Tribe community and show them what is possible with discipline and focus. And I believe that if I'm able to take somebody beyond myself, not only is it a massive advertisement for the Money Tribe, but it might actually allow me to step back from social media and go and do the next big thing on my challenge list, which is to enter the World Cup of Forex trading. I desperately want to trade the Robbins Cup, but before I do that, I obviously need to have people inside of the Money Tribe that I can share some of that responsibility of teaching and coaching and grow people. And so one of my other big goals for the road to 1 million is the people who I managed to get over $1 million in trading equity. I want them to come into the Money Tribe and to continue what I've taught and mentor to the next generation of traders coming through. So this is a huge goal. It is an audacious goal. It is bold, it is risky, and it is uncertain. Exactly what we should be doing with our time. So I'm in balls deep. I'm emotionally committed. I'm physically committed. My time is on the line. And for those traders trading on the road to 1 million, I've already told them very seriously, don't fuck around, because if you fuck around, you'll find out it's my time. I'm investing my blood, my sweat, my tears, my emotions into this, and I'm excited to see what comes of this. So, you know, if you're interested in following this journey, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. And of course, you know, feel free to pop into the Money Tribe website at any time. Also, if you are a Money Tribe member, you're probably going to get regular updates on that process as soon as we actually get going with the official road to 1 million. So I think I've spoken just about enough in this video. It is time to roll the outro. The road to 1 million definitely is, as I said, a very brave and audacious project. And I'm definitely treating everybody who are trading with me on the road to 1 million very differently than I would treat everybody else. I'm holding them accountable for my time. You see, the most valuable thing I can give people is my time. I can give money and I can always make more of it, but time I can't make more of. So I'm holding these traders accountable. I'm holding them accountable for the time and input that I give them. And I'm going to have very high expectations. If they don't follow the rules, they're out. If they don't listen, they're out. If there is any level of arrogance, they're out. But I do want to say this, and I think it's a really important part. As much as I am appearing very hard and very harsh about things, I want those of you to know, those of you on the road to 1 million, you represent the hopes and dreams of ordinary people. You represent the hopes and dreams of all the traders inside of the Money Tribe. You represent the hopes and dreams not just of yourself, but every single person who wants to do what I've done. You have an immense responsibility, and for that responsibility, you are accountable. I want you to not take this on as pressure, but I want you to take this on as motivation. You see, the greatest thing we can do in this world is leave an example of how to do things. Leave an example of how to live, leave an example of how to win, leave an example of how to deal with failure. This is an audacious project. And those of you on the road to 1 million, I expect massive things from you. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy this content, drop us a comment, drop us a like, and more importantly, share the living shit out of this video, because Money Tribe is going to the top. Cheers, guys.